I'm the bad guy. I'm the, I'm the, I'm the bad.
So let's roll on. Let's look at Kansas City Chiefs then, who probably are now arguably the favourites for the Super Bowl, as the three-peat is still on, as they beat the Texan Houston's 23-14 in the first game that happened on Saturday. Now, the big record story for this was Travis Kelce. He made 7 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. So this was his ninth career playoff game with at least 100 receiving yards, which is the most in NFL history. Which he's broken that tie now he had with Jerry Rice. I think we talked a little bit about Kelce in the games where he has been quiet, but he's basically just been sitting there on a regular season, taking points where he needed, pushing the game forward to basically break glass in case of emergency over the course of the season. He's now fit, raring to go, and he was a story out of this. And the Chiefs look good again, don't they?
They look good. Travis Kelce, Mr. Main Event,
Absolutely.
turns it on when the light's brightest. And oh, this is so good for the NFL, right? Because you've got the Swifties in the stands. Just imagine what this is going to do for them financially, all the eyes that are going to be on it. Travis Kelce playing well. Excuse me. The Chiefs playing well and going to do what they do. And listen, there's not a lot to say about the Chiefs that hasn't been said every single year. We say this every single year. We might as well just pick a recording from last season and just play it and just sit and relax. Because what can you say about this team? Mahomes in the division round, he is now 8-0. Like literally, this guy doesn't flinch in the division round. So he just finds a way to win. He's just super functional. Travis Kelce makes the plays, and you're thinking he's wide open. There was a throw that he made into the middle of the field, and Travis Kelce was there. There was no one in sight. I'm thinking, hold on a second. Don't you know who that is? That is Travis freaking Kelce. All right. You don't let him go wandering around the yard just like that unaccompanied. So there's not a lot to say about the Chiefs. The Chiefs just do what the Chiefs did. That game was very boring, right? And the Chiefs make
Yeah.
it boring. They just like, but listen, thanks for coming. It was good to have you guys around. Don't forget your coats and your sandals on your way out. So take your shoes on your way
Your
out.
coat and sandals. What kind of weather are you going to? Jesus Christ. But look, you're absolutely right. There was just a sense of sort of dull inevitability
Yeah.
about this, I think, wasn't it? I mean, if you again look at it, I mean, Mahomes now he's 16-3 in the playoffs. He's reached the AFC Championship game in all 7 seasons as a starting QB. He got finished on 177 yards and a touchdown. This is also Andy Reid's 300th win as an NFL coach, and this is now the eighth straight playoff triumphs for the Chiefs. Right,
Wow.
8 in a row. The Texans never really looked like they were going to get an upset. And as I said when we first started this podcast this week, every single team who lost actually gained more yards. And again, if you look at the Texans, so they gained more yards, 336 to 212. So they gained 100 more yards in the game than the Chiefs, and they controlled the clock. They were
Yeah.
playing for basically seven. They had the ball for 7 minutes more than the Chiefs.
Yeah. The
But
Texans were doing cardio on the field. That's all they were doing.
yeah, and it
Getting
was
their cardio stats up.
and the ominous thing now. Obviously, Chiefs are now going to play the Bills again, and we talked about how good the Bills defense was against the Ravens. But it's a Chiefs defense. I mean, they absolutely tore into their pass rushing was an absolute masterclass. Stroud was sacked 8 times,
Ooh,
hit for a total of 14 times.
ooh.
And what they did, they looked at what worked for the Texans in the last round, and that was CJ Stroud to Collins, and they just cut that out. They knocked that on the head immediately,
I was
and
like, no, sir, thank you,
yeah,
not today.
it's it's great. You see it in sort of you see it in the football on our side of the pond that sometimes you can control the game without the ball, and that's
Yeah,
pretty much what it felt like the Chiefs did. And look, I don't really know what more we can say about this game, to be perfectly honest. The Chiefs march on. The three-peat is still there. We'll do our predictions later on in the week. Just so we can make sure what comes out of the what comes out of the week if all players stay fit and all that. But
yeah,
again, there's just that dull inevitability about the
yeah.
Chiefs at the moment.
And a shout out to Josh Karlaftis, because I didn't know who that was
Yeah,
until until this game. But my guy had 3 sacks in that game, just out of nowhere. And there's something that happens when people go to the Chiefs that they start doing supernatural stuff. I don't know whether it's the air in Kansas City Chiefs. Players just start, playing, and they could be horrible in other teams. They get to the Chiefs, and all of a sudden it's like they sprinkle the gold dust on them. They start to do supernatural things, and this guy had 3 sacks. You would have, if someone said someone had 3 sacks in the Chiefs game, you think Chris Jones, right?
hmm
He's the guy that does it. But this guy, I don't know who he is, right? I would pass him on the street without knowing him. He had 3 sacks. So
He
shout
got
out
his
to him.
helmet on. If he had his helmet on, you might have recognised him. But yeah, look, the Chiefs roll on. I don't really think there's much we can really talk about
Yeah.
this. So, I think we just move on to the game
Yeah.
that you really want to talk about. That's
Yes.
why you put them last in running order. It's the LA Rams came up short against the Philadelphia Eagles, Eddie's Philadelphia Eagles, with the Eagles winning 28-22. Now, there was one reason that Philadelphia won this game, and I think anyone who has a passing interest in the NFL will probably be able to tell you exactly why the Eagles won this game. What one man was the reason why they won this game, and it was Saquon Barkley. Again, it was they they stuck to their strengths, and we talked about the Ravens not sticking to their strength, and that's why they lost. Philly said, "Right, no, Barkley's going to win this for us." I mean, terrible conditions. It was snow.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a passing game, shall we say?
Yeah.
Regardless of what quarterbacks are on the pitch, because we could barely see swirling winds, snow. It was had all those box ticked, but Barkley ran the show, didn't he?
He did. He did. Barkley. Giants used to be like it was Saquon Barkley and a bag of chips. And I think that's how people used to look at the Giants. And I don't know. I think there's gonna be a new thing called the Saquon Barkley effect, right? On teams because he just takes over a game to a point where other people stop doing what they normally do. Like AJ Brown is like, you got this. I'm not even gonna try and catch balls anymore.
Yeah.
Let's just let Saquon Barkley, do what Saquon Barkley does. This is ridiculous, right? The the Eagles had like maybe their total passing yards, right, for the Eagles was like 200 and something, and it was 285 or something like that. Saquon Barkley had 205 yards. That's just ridiculous. That's like one player is literally doing everything that a team is supposed to be doing. Is this sustainable? I don't know, but the Eagles don't care, right?
No.
As long as Saquon Barkley keeps doing this, and listen, Rams, I'm very pissed off with you guys because you had one job. One job that you had to do was take out the Eagles just so that I could have the perfect division weekend. But what did you guys do? You left it till the very late part of the game to try and do something. You had a whole 3 quarters to do something. You did nothing with it. So listen, the Eagles, they lean on their defense. Like I said, we're picking this game that if you've got a defense and you've got a running game like Saquon Barkley, you're gonna go far. And Jalen Hurts did nothing, to change my opinion about him. I still think he's the worst quarterback in the NFC East. Now that Jaden Daniel has come in, and that's saying a lot because even the Giants don't have a quarterback yet. And I'm saying that he's the worst quarterback in the NFC East. He's gonna have to do something because I don't think that you can just have Saquon Barkley run all the way to the Super Bowl, right? Someone is gonna say, not today, right?
Yeah,
The cautionary tale for them is what happens to Ravens, where the Bills were like, Henry is not going to beat us today, right? And then now, what can you do, Mr. Jalen Hurts?
I think that I mean I was slightly flippant when I say the only reason why they won this game was because of Barkley. I mean, let's be honest, the defense for the Eagles, they gave Barkley the opportunity. The defense the defense did incredibly well for the Eagles, but there's just something about the offense that's not clicking. It's just not working in Philadelphia at the moment, apart from Barkley, as you said. 205 rushing yards. It's the fifth best postseason rushing total in NFL history, right? So he is operating on a different level. But Hurts, I mean, if we were to be kind to Jalen Hurts, he was clearly obviously hampered by a knee injury that he got from a sack that he got, I think, in the third quarter. But he was sacked 6 times. If you're being sacked 6 times, if you're going to get hit, there's a high chance you're going to pick up, you're gonna injure yourself. And his overall play was fairly poor. You know, he said he had too many sacks in key situations. He missed open receivers on multiple plays, multiple opportunities. He missed, and obviously he wasn't the only one. You look at AJ Brown, he dropped 2 passes. But if the Eagles want to go far, if they want to not only get to the Super Bowl but win the Super Bowl now, they have to get better play from their offensive lining, especially the likes of Hurts and the O line. It wasn't good, and they're coming up now against a Commanders team full of confidence who have just done in the number one seed.
Yeah.
And look, conditions is one thing, but yeah, this wasn't pretty for the Eagles.
No, it wasn't pretty. The stats were not even pretty as well. Saquon Barkley carried the ball 26 times. No other running back carried it more than one.
Hmm.
So that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley had more yards than AJ Brown and Devonta Smith.
Hmm.
I'm talking about receiving yards, not rushing yards. So, I mean, you can operate a an offense like that. And listen, it's gonna make me very happy to see the Eagles completely tank it in the next round. Nothing will please me even more.
Well, what,
And
what 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 if they overcome everything and they pull it together and they squeak by Commanders, they go to the playoffs and they set Jalen Hurts has the best QB game in NFL history, and they take the Super Bowl. That's the thing that's going to make you more happy, surely.
well, for one, I know that would never happen because you can't turn it on like a tap. You can't play so crap for like 6 weeks, and then if let's say they get to the Super Bowl, you do know that they would have to be playing either Mahomes or Josh Allen, right?
Oh yeah.
So the chances of Jalen Hurts playing better than those two players, I've got more chance, in the casino right now of winning a lot of money. That's how my odds are looking. Listen, the Eagles are gonna have to fix stuff, and Commanders are not gonna be like LA, right? Because they play in a cold weather state as well. So you're not gonna have the element or the weather playing into them because the Eagles are gonna be like, okay, yeah, it's cold. Yeah, the Commanders are like, yeah, it's cold in Washington. What else, right? There's nothing new with that. So this is going to be fascinating when we start to look at it. But the other thing for me is when I look at the that Eagles game, is that I wonder whether there is a bit of suppression going on because we've not heard anything about from AJ Brown, we've not heard anything about Devonta Smith, And considering how vocal they were in the regular season when they were not getting the ball, I'm wondering why we're not hearing anything and whether there is something stewing in that locker room waiting to explode.
Well, they're probably just told to shut up. I think that's probably that'd be the smartest thing to do. Christ, I mean, you're one game away from the Super Bowl without playing well. Keep your mouth shut. Let's work as a team to get there. But look, who knows? Who knows? Look, I think, to be honest, I don't really think there's much more we can really say on this game. I think that, I mean, unless you want to have a particular word on the LA Rams other than chastise them for losing the game because it's hurt your feelings.
Yeah, they did hurt my feelings, LA Rams. But listen, I thought they did remarkably in conditions that they don't typically are used to. And they kept that game, within a one score game, for most of the time. And if the ball bounced just, slightly different way, they could have been in with a shout, right? They ran out of time to make any reasonable comeback to the game. But Nakoa, we were texting in the when the game was on, and he had that almost Superman type catch
Incredible catch, wasn't it?
that was absolutely ridiculous. In fact, there was another catch, and I can't remember the receiver, where it was an interception in the air, but when they got to the floor, it was a catch for an LA Rams player. That was just, I mean, they were doing things that were only seen in circus. People were taking all kinds of tricks, in the game. So they gave us something entertaining, which was good. And I think that maybe quietly, the Rams will be thinking to themselves, maybe we're back, right?
Mm.
Because a couple of seasons ago, they went to the Super Bowl, they won it, and then obviously they had put all the chips in and they had to pay for that because draft picks, all of that money that they had tied up to players. But potentially, they've got a number of players that are not on big money, and maybe Stafford is thinking, I can go come back one more year, right? I can see them drafting a quarterback in this draft, which would just
To back up Stafford?
yeah, it would make sense, right? It would make sense. It would be the smart thing to do because I think there are a couple of good quarterbacks that are coming out in this draft. I know everyone is talking about Shador because of Prime and all of that, but there are a couple of other quarterbacks that are decent as well. So I think the Rams, they draft a quarterback. Stafford comes back for one more year. Quarterback sits on the bench, learns from Stafford. Stafford is a good player. He's an experienced player who's seen a lot of things, and he will be able to teach that rookie quarterback so many things about teams, coverages, and all of that, and how to be a good quarterback. And then next thing, the Rams are open for the season again. Yeah, open for the Super Bowl window again, right? They've got lots of young players as well on that team. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm the Rams, I'll probably not be too disheartened. They got hurt at the right time, but it was always very unlikely for them to get all the way to the Super Bowl, let's be honest, right?
Hmm.
So the fact that they got to a divisional game, I think that's counted as success for the Rams. They regroup next season, draft a quarterback, and then they start building for the future. Because you know that Sean McVay is still a very good coach and he will keep the team competitive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, look, let's end it there for this week. Obviously, we'll be back later in the week to give our predictions for the championship round as the playoffs rolls on. It's incredibly exciting. I think we're looking forward to this. It's the first playoff big championship seat weekend that we've done together on this podcast. So I'm
It is.
incredibly excited to talk through this with you already as normal. So yeah, so I'll just say thank you everyone for watching again this week. And Eddie, I'll let you sign us off.
Yes, and division round of the playoffs did not disappoint, guys. And we had upsets, we had magical moments, we had rookies that are seemingly becoming legends. But The next round is something that is going to be absolutely magical because this is the chance to get to the dance, right? And everyone is looking forward to that. This is like having that prom, waiting for someone to ask you to go to the dance and all of that. Listen, everyone have got their clothes ready, you've got their suit ready, their best clothes, and everyone is waiting for an opportunity to wear that. And we will be here to break it all down. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And thank you for everyone that has been watching the channel and supporting us. We'll be back to give our predictions. And everyone, take care of yourself.
I just want to know, Eddie, did you get taken to that dance in the end? This sounds like it still could go one of two ways. But yeah, see everyone next week.
I'm the bad guy. I'm the